He called for help and then told me to leave. What happened between those two moments changed the way I think about care. There's a particular feeling you get near the end of a long shift. It's not quite tiredness, it's more like a settling, like the building itself exhales. The corridors get quieter, the buzzers slow down, and for just a moment you think, maybe tonight will end gently. I'd been on my feet for hours. There had already been a fall earlier in the evening, a medication query that took 3 phone calls to resolve, two residents who couldn't sleep and just needed someone to sit with them for a while. You know those shifts, the ones where you feel like you're pouring from a cup that keeps emptying, and yet you keep going because that's the nature of this work. So there I was, near the end of it all, doing my final checks, writing my notes, entering my documentation on the epic care, and then the bell started ringing. Once, twice, then again, and then I heard it. Help! 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 Not a confused murmur, not someone half asleep calling out in a dream. This was sharp, purposeful, the kind of voice that moves your feet before your brain catches up. So I moved. I didn't think about it. My body just went. I ran. That's something they don't really teach you in training. The way your instinct takes over in this job, the way your feet carry you down a corridor before your mind has even caught up. I reached the room, pushed open the door, and turned on the light. And immediately he screamed, "Turn it off! Turn off the light! Turn it off!" I stood very still for a moment because that didn't make sense. Or rather, it made a very particular kind of sense that I hadn't caught up to yet. He had called for help. He needed someone, and now that someone was here, he was shouting at me to leave. So I did the only thing I could think of. I turned off the lights, and in the darkness, I lowered my voice as low as I could. Calm, steady. "It's okay, I'm here. You're not alone." And then my eyes adjusted and I saw it. The bed was soiled. He had lost control of his bowels completely, and it was everywhere. Now I understood the darkness. He hadn't turned off the light to keep me out. He wanted me to turn off the light so I couldn't see him. Think about that for a second. In the worst moments of his night, maybe one of the worst moments of his life, his first instinct was shame. Not "help me," but "don't look at me." And I want you to sit with that because I had to. There's a particular kind of vulnerability in what he was experiencing. It's not like a broken arm, it's not like a fever or a wound. This is something so deeply private, so tied to our sense of dignity that most people would rather suffer alone than be seen. And here I was, a stranger to him, standing in his room. I didn't rush. I didn't start pulling gloves on or reaching for supplies. I just stayed there where I was in the dark and I talked to him quietly, telling him what we were going to do step by step, not in a clinical way, just human to human. We're going to sort this out together, no rush. But sorting it out wasn't simple. He couldn't wait beer, he couldn't stand, he couldn't transfer without equipment. I needed a hoist and I needed another person. So I had to tell him, I need to get some help. I'll be right back. I'm not leaving you. I'm getting what we need. That's its own kind of difficult moment. Leaving someone in a state like that, even for 3 minutes, feels like abandonment, even when it isn't, even when it's necessary. I got my colleague, grabbed the equipment, and we came back. But by then, his frustration had built. The waiting, the helplessness, the knowing that more people were now involved. His voice was louder now, his words sharper. He was angry, not at us specifically, but we were there, so we were the target. And then he started throwing punches. Not hard, not coordinated, but real enough. Cursing, swearing, telling us to get out. Telling us we were hurting him even before we'd touch him. This man was grieving his body, grieving his independence, grieving a version of him that couldn't get up in the night, handle his business, and go back to sleep without needing a single soul. He had lived his entire life, decades, doing exactly that. And now he couldn't. And we were there in the middle of his loss. Just there. We walked slowly, every moment announced before we made it. We're going to move your legs now, to move you gently. You're doing really well. He didn't stop resisting, at least not fully. He was still muttering, still tense. But the punches slowed. And there's something that happens in those moments. Something quiet. When someone begins to realize that you're not going anywhere, that you're not scared of this, that you're not disgusted, that you're not going to rush him or shame him to make this worse than it already is. Something changes in their minds. Not dramatically, not all at once, but it shifts. We got him to the bathroom carefully, every step slow and deliberate. The shower, the clean clothes, the fresh dignity of a made bed waiting for him when we came back. The whole time he barely looked at us, and that was okay, he didn't need to. And then it was done. He was clean, he was dry, he was back in bed. The room was quiet again, and as I was tidying him up, not really thinking, when I heard it. Thank you. I turned around. He was looking at me, not with embarrassment, not with residual anger, just looking. He said it again. Thank you. This was just like he was placing something in my hands. Something he needed to carry, but like he was giving me the thank you. I didn't say much. I just said, you're welcome. The look on his face was what made me happy. And this is what care is about. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next story.